Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the National Guard Professional Education Center and the Strength Maintenance Training Battalion, welcome. I am Staff Sergeant Ryan Hazlett, and I have the privilege of being your master of ceremony today. Please rise for the entrance of the official party. The official party consists of First Sergeant Justin Miller, Deputy Commandant, Strength Maintenance Training Battalion, and today's honoree, Sergeant First Class Christopher Larson, Chief of Training Development, Strength Maintenance Training Battalion. And please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker this afternoon is First Sergeant Justin D. Miller. First Sergeant Miller has served as Sergeant Larson's first-line leader at the 79 Tango Non-Commissioned Officer Academy over the course of the past year.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to say, first of all, thanks for Sergeant Major Bookout, Sergeant Major Farrar for being here today at this momentous occasion. Secondly, I'd like to thank all the family and friends of Master Sergeant Larson for being here today. And I think I speak for him, and I'm sure he'll mention it, but from my own perspective, I know that we could never, ever, ever do what we do without the support of our family. And for that, I know that we're all very grateful. But it's a privilege to be here today. A long time coming. I've had the joy of being Master Sergeant Larson's first-line leader for the last 12 months. And when I got here last summer, I came into a situation that was very fluid, but I had 4 senior non-commissioned officers who were mission-focused and driven to support the students that we train here. And I just want to say how amazing it was to be the first-line leader for Master Sergeant Larson in particular. This is an individual who in the classroom pours his entire heart and soul into everything he does, every word that comes out of his mouth, every action that he takes in front of students, not because he's worried about how he looks, all right, in front of his students. It's more about he's setting the example for his students, for young, impressionable non-commissioned officers who are here at the institution to be developed. And to sit in the classroom and watch him is something else. And for that, we as a 79 Tango community should be thankful that we have somebody here that conducts himself in that manner. As my senior small group leader, he excelled in that position in a peer leadership role, which is, as we all know, is probably one of the most formative positions that you can be in, where you have to flex your personal power over your positional authority. So you don't necessarily have the rank, but the relationships that you build, the trust that you build with your peers in a leadership role, the shared understanding, that's really where the authority comes from. It's not the position itself. Some of it is derived from that. But those relationships are really what matters. And as a senior small group leader, he spent the time to build those relationships, to cultivate that team environment and that team mentality which then spilled over even more into our student population that came through the senior leader course. So to watch that was amazing. And for me, I learned from him as well. There are things that Sergeant Larsson did that I emulate, which I think is important as a leader. Not only should we be able to lead, we should be able to be led as well and understand in that role that we can always learn something new. So with that being said, I want to say again, Sergeant Larsson, thank you for the last 12 months. This is one of those moments where the Army absolutely, positively got it right. I know that you are prepared for anything that your career can throw at you at this point, and I'm trying not to get emotional up here. I appreciate the relationship that we've developed over the last 12 months, and I look forward to seeing what you're able to accomplish in the future. Thank you all.
Thank you, First Sergeant Miller. At this time, we would like to recognize Sergeant Larsson's family and friends, starting with Sergeant Larsson's father, Larry, Sergeant Larsson's wife, Angel, and their son, Axton, Sergeant Larsson's mother, Julie, his two sisters, Jessica and Cassandra, as well as baby Maggie, as well as their husbands, Josh and Marcus. Next, we have Sergeant Larsson's mother-in-law, Sarah, and father-in-law, Brady. Last, but not least, Sergeant Larsson's best friend, Master Sergeant Jason R.L. from the Michigan Army National Guard. At this time, Sergeant Larsson is presenting his wife, Angel, with a bouquet of flowers. Would Mr. Larsson, Angel, and Axton please join us on stage? Larry, Angel, and Axton will be placing Master Sergeant shoulder boards onto Sergeant Larsson as the promotion order is being announced.
Attention orders!
Department of the Army, National Guard Bureau, Order Number 130-26, dated 10 May 2022. The Secretary of the Army has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and professional excellence of Christopher L. Larsson. In view of these qualities and his demonstrated leadership, potential, and dedicated service to the United States Army, he is therefore promoted from Sergeant First Class to Master Sergeant with an effective date of 1 June 2022. By order of the Secretary of the Army, signed, Dudley R. Capps, Colonel, Chief Army National Guard Human Capital Management Division. Please be seated. First Sergeant Miller will now present the Creed of the Non-Commissioned Officer to Master Sergeant Larsson. First Sergeant Miller, along with Master Sergeant Larsson, will now sign the Creed of the Non-Commissioned Officer. Will all NCOs please stand and join Sergeant Larsson as he recites the Creed of the Non-Commissioned Officer.
No one is more professional than I. I am a non-commissioned officer, a leader of soldiers. As a non-commissioned officer, I realize that I'm a member of a time-honored corps, which is known as the backbone of the Army. I'm proud of the Corps of non-commissioned officers, and will at all times conduct myself so as to be dependent upon the Corps, the military service, and my country, regardless of the situation in which I find myself. I will not use my greater position to attain pleasure, profit, or personal safety. Competence is my watchword. My two biggest responsibilities will always be uppermost in my mind: accomplishment of my mission and the welfare of my soldiers. I will strive to remain technically and tactically proficient. I am aware of my role as a non-commissioned officer. I will fulfill my responsibilities inherent in that role. All soldiers are entitled to outstanding leadership. I will provide that leadership. I know my soldiers, and I'll always place their needs above my own. I will communicate consistently with my soldiers and never leave them uninformed. I will be fair and impartial when recommending both rewards and punishment. Officers in my unit will have maximum time to accomplish their duties. They will not have to accomplish mine. I will earn the respect and confidence as well as that of my soldiers. I will be loyal to those with whom I serve, seniors, peers, and subordinates alike. I will exercise initiative by taking the appropriate action in the absence of orders. I will not compromise my integrity nor my moral courage. I will not forget, nor will I allow my comrades to forget, that we are professionals, non-commissioned officers, leaders.
Ladies and gentlemen, the newest Master Sergeant to the Army National Guard, Master Sergeant Christopher L. Larson.
Thank you. Sergeant Major, thanks for being here. It means a lot. Honored guests, all of you, thanks for being here. Whether you wanted to be here or not, or the free food was the enticement, I do appreciate it. So the good book says, a good name is better than fine perfume. And that simply means that when it comes time to celebrate anything, that friends and family will come. Not because they are obligated, but because they truly want to share a moment with you. So I'm very thankful. I'm beyond thankful for each one of you. So I want to spend most of my time up here highlighting and thanking people more than talking about what I think got me to this point. That's really not important to me. First, everyone I work with at SMTB, this has been the most rewarding duty station I've ever had, the most challenging duty station I've ever had. And the staff here is second to none, in my true, humble opinion. The men and women that I'm lucky to work with here are the best of the best, all of you. So thank you for being here. I especially want to thank First Sergeant Miller, not for making me tear up, but I want to thank you for speaking here. First Sergeant, I want you to know that the last year of my career has been the most fun and rewarding and challenging. I have done so much development as a non-commissioned officer and leader in the last year, more than really maybe my whole career. I cannot thank you enough for doing that for me, and I'm still getting used to calling you peer. And not to worry, I will call you by your requested nickname, Time and Grade. Next, I'd like to thank Staff Sergeant Hazlett for emceeing this. I asked him to do this last week and proceeded to just keep piling stuff on him. But Staff Sergeants run the Army, as First Sergeant reminded me, so he did a great job. If I can get him to come up here front and center, please. So, the shoulder boards I'm wearing today were given to me by Sergeant Major Simmons, who's now retired. It's tradition, it's something I love, and it's something I'm proud to do. I would like to give my Sergeant First Class shoulder boards and a coin to Sergeant Hazlett. He'll be moving to the senior NCO ranks very soon, and I've been impressed with everything you do since you were my student in Senior Leader Course 21004, and I enticed you to come here and be an instructor. You single-handedly held 3rd Squad together with a bunch of really good Alabama boys. You spoke for them in every breakout. So, really good. Congratulations. You're good now. Next, I want to recognize my very best friend in the whole world, Master Sergeant Jason Arell. You know, despite being 900 miles apart, we always find a way to be a part of the most important times in our career for the past 12 years. And it means a ton to me that you're here. I appreciate you, Battle. Thank you. Next, my mother and father-in-law, Sarah and Brady. Man, I'm so stoked that you're here. Since I joined your family, you have been nothing but supportive, and you've taken care of me and my family, and I really, truly appreciate that. Thank you. My baby sisters, Cassandra and Jessica, they're all grown up, and their husbands, Marcus and Josh. I appreciate you guys being here, and baby Maggie, too, the newest addition to our family. My mother, Julie, is here as well. They were able to make it down from the great state of Michigan, where we're smitten with the mitten. But I'm so thankful that you're here and in this moment today. It means a lot to me. I miss you every day. And in keeping with the promise of Christmas promise 2016, I love you all. My support system at home is second to none. My wife, Angel, works unbelievably hard for our family while attending school and being a wonderful mother, to our son, Axton. The most challenging assignment that I ever had was given to me by my at-home sergeant major, being a dad. It's been the most rewarding, though. Thank you for everything, love. I love you. I love you, son. It only goes downhill from here, folks. Sorry. I'm almost done. Dad, I haven't seen you in 3 years. For numerous reasons. But catching up these last few days has been so good. But it's never enough. I want you to know that even though sometimes our relationship can get a little cats in the cradle, that's an inside joke. I think about you all the time, Dad, and I love you. And I miss you and Mom dearly. So recently I had the pleasure of coaching 3 to 6-year-old soccer for my son Axton. And at the end of games and practices, Coach Steve Mann, who works here as well, would bring us all in and instruct the kids to count down from 3 and sound off with their favorite superhero. Every time I yelled my dad, and I hope that Axton paid attention to that. So, end of the day, through the good years and the bad, whether I was in Afghanistan or here stateside, Dad, you always made time to talk me off the ledge if I was on the ledge, or just to be there for me. And if I can be half of the dad that you are, half of the leader you are, then Axton and all of you are in good hands. I also want to mention this. Dad will be retiring for the second time at the end of July. The second time. After 23 more years as a GS. He already had a small ceremony in his office in San Diego, but he has dutifully served his country from 1975 until now, at the end of July. And I know that little ceremony didn't do you justice, Dad. A life dedicated to this country. Many important days missed. Many goodbyes that were so inconvenient. So, Dad, I just want to say thank you for your 47 years of dedicated service. Lastly, I want to just mention that I know my biggest fan right now is celebrating in heaven. I know my grandma's smiling down, and she's saying, I knew my George could do it. And no, my name isn't really George. She just called me that. Had to remind her that. I thought she maybe, no. I miss my grandma, and I miss my best friend, and I hope she is celebrating today. I think about her every day, and I miss her laugh, and I love you, Granny. So in ending, thank you again for being here. I look forward to getting to work as the Chief of Training and Development. I got big boots to fill by the Undersecretary. And assisting the Strength Maintenance Training Battalion with delivering the best trained recruiting and retention NCOs to the force when we desperately need them. And as I always say, remember, we are the air in front of the tip of the spear.
This concludes today's ceremony. Please feel free to come forward to congratulate Master Sergeant Larsson on his promotion. Refreshments and cake are available at the back of the room.